Hello, welcome back to my channel and another writing vlog. My name is Jessica and I have been working on 2 projects as of late. However, that is changing soon. But first, the introduction to the projects. Gentle and the Picnic Pals tells the tale of Gentle and her friends as they go out on a picnic. But the fun and games are interrupted by creepy crawlies like frogs, snakes, and spiders. Gentle's friends all fear the creatures, but Gentle knows there's nothing to fear from her creepy animal friends. Join her as she tries to show her friends how to respect and even admire the creatures that live in their own backyard. The Grimm Girls project is a code name currently, but I also frequently call this story Sisters and Fairies. Both titles are a work in progress, as I have not decided a title for the story. Grimm Girls is about 2 sisters, Blair and Olivia, who simply don't get along with one another. However, when Olivia gets kidnapped by fairies, Blair must step up and work with a pompous lost fairy prince to get her sister back. Will she survive the fairy world with her unwilling guide? Who knows? I haven't finished writing it yet. While I love the Grimm Girls project and intend on finishing it sometime around September next year, I'm putting the project on hold. I'm going to focus my time on creating Gentle and the Picnic Pals in preparation for its desired publication date sometime in early April. That's the goal anyway. I've made a plan to reach that goal, and with any amount of luck, I'll be able to reach it. But recently, that's been the theme of my life, it seems, figuring out my priorities. So many things have happened over the course of just a few weeks, all of which has affected my writing in some way. I really need to figure out what's important to me, what I want to do with my time, and how I could make that happen. If you're having a hard time figuring out what you should prioritize in your life, you're definitely not alone. Hopefully hearing about my journey will make you think about your own decisions and help you process. But that's a lot of pressure on me to make something great, and this is a writing vlog. Don't go that deep. Anyway, let's get to writing, and I'll tell you more about my wild ride of figuring out my priorities. So, what the heck happened to me that made me rethink my life? Well, I quit my job as a housekeeper at a hotel. It was messy, honestly. I won't name names because I don't want to get in trouble, but guys, it was a bad place to work. The people working with me were fine. Some were even friendly and helped me out a lot. It was my manager that really rubbed me the wrong way. Firstly, he wanted me to keep my true title as a lead housekeeper a secret from the other team members. He said it was so they would teach me where they cut corners while cleaning rooms in the hotel, but that's a little bit scummy, isn't it? If they cut corners while cleaning, you would know because something that you checked in the room wouldn't be clean. And if what they did gets the room clean faster, then who cares if they didn't follow your exact instructions for how to clean the sink? I saw him often get angry with human resources. He even slammed the door on them when they came and dropped me off so I could get my first schedule. And on my last day, I heard him shouting at human resources when I went to drop off my uniform. And guys, I know human resources are usually the problem people in stereotypical positions, but the human resources people at the hotel were so nice. They were so kind about helping me get the documents I needed to start the job. So kind and friendly. Last thing, because I don't want to dwell on my manager for too long, but he also wasn't training me very well. He often didn't know what my training schedule was, and I had to remind him all the time. He'd never inform people the day before that they were going to train me, and he had me training in everyone else's job but mine for 3 weeks straight. And when I finally got to the training of my actual job, he called me in to clean 2 rooms by myself, after not being on house cleaning duty for 2 weeks, for people who were already waiting in the lobby for those rooms to be done. Also, those rooms had just come out of renovation, so they were extra dirty. But yes, make the new girl who is training to do her job at the moment, and hasn't had any training on what she was hired to do since hired 3 weeks ago, clean the horribly dirty rooms. Some may say he was trying to test me, see what metal I was made of, and if I could actually handle the job. I would say the same if I had been hired to be a regular housekeeper. I was a lead. My job as a lead was to help the other housekeepers stay on task, get their cleaning supplies, inspect the rooms once they were finished, and report by phone and paperwork to the front desk that the room was ready for guests. I'm not above helping a housekeeper that's behind on their work. Absolutely, I would do that. Even clean an entire room by myself to help out other housekeepers, which I was told multiple times that we weren't supposed to do as lead housekeepers. But giving me 2 newly out-of-construction rooms while I was supposed to be training at the job they were hiring me for? Bruh. All this to say, I only wrote 704 words in the 3 weeks since starting my job. Now, this was a hard decision to make, quitting. I had been looking for a job for almost a year, and this one I thought could work. And this was a good paying job too, a really good paying job. But did I want to be a well-paid housekeeper with a crappy boss? Or did I want to write more than 704 words every few months? What was going to be my career? Was this job helping me reach my career goals, or hindering it? In the end, you know what I chose. Now I'm back to day job searching, but I've been able to write and create a ton more, getting closer and closer to my goal. And I had an interview for another job pretty soon, so here's hoping that this one will actually help me in my author career. This was the first of many priorities that I had to figure out in the past few weeks. But I've been talking a lot, so let's get some writing done, shall we? Another thing I was missing in my life was drawing. No, not drawing for my children's book, though that was part of it. I like drawing as a hobby, as a little side hustle thing, just giving art to my friends to make them squeal. I like drawing. But I haven't been doing much of that since deciding to treat my writing like a career. And because of the job thing I explained before, but that's over now, so we don't talk about it anymore. I was not giving myself any time for my hobbies. I have never really given myself a ton of time for my hobbies since I graduated high school, really. And though I love writing and I'm still working on becoming an author, I need to set time aside to just draw whatever I want. I literally have a list on my phone of stuff that I want to draw. Like, it's bad when you start pulling out lists of things that you want to draw. Does that mean I'm going to be cutting into my time that I've carved out for working on my projects? No. I've got other things I can cut out of my life. Watching YouTube being one of them. Honestly, using YouTube as an escape is alright, so long as you use it sparingly. There is so much you can do with your time other than watching a video or two. You could read, you could write, you could draw instead of staring at a screen and zoning out. A 20-minute YouTube video can get you a good chunk into a book. For some, you could finish an entire book in 20 minutes. So, yeah, I'm cutting back on my zone-out time and using time for things that I actually enjoy. I'll turn off my brain when it's time to go to sleep. Wait, why are you going to the red X in the corner? Oh, wait, I'm on YouTube. Wait. Just kidding. Exit out of the browser if you feel like it. We're just going to be here for a bit longer and write. The last thing I wanted to talk about with my changing priorities is how my writing plan is changing. This has to do with me dropping the Grimm Girls project for a little while, but also thinking about my family and writing and such. First, the dropping of my novel while I focus on my children's book illustrating. This was just a sensible switch. I had always planned the children's book would come out first before my novel, because despite having to draw all the pages, it was less work than writing out the entire story of Grimm Girls. Since it's getting published first, it should be done first. Makes sense. I thought I could write and draw at the same time and split up my time between the two. And honestly, if I had enough time to figure it out, I bet I could. However, I was getting behind on the children's book pages, so regrettably I needed to switch my focus. I will get back to the land of fairies and pixies, I promise. But for now, it's the bubbly art style of fantasy kidland that I have to sink into. Also, my writing plan has taken on some different priorities that really doesn't have to deal with my writing at all. When I first started treating my writing like a job, I didn't really want anything to interrupt it. I would stay at home, not talk to anyone in my family for some days. It wasn't horrible, but it could have gotten out of hand. So, as I'm starting up my job schedule again for my writing, I'm going to practice keeping my family in my life. You know, let them know that I actually exist, go do things with them, try not to be a stranger in my own home. Especially if I get this new job. It's in a completely different state from my family, meaning I'll have to move. I'm going to make sure to spend time with them, and I am making good on my promise. I went to Hollywood Studios with them just recently. So, yeah, that's the state of my writing life. Lots of priorities shifting around as I try to navigate this unsure time of my life. I hope you enjoyed your time today. I want to know about what you're writing and how your priorities have changed as you've been on your writing journey. Please leave a comment down below, and while you're down there, please leave a like and subscribe if you want more writing and storytelling videos from me. Well, that's all for this writing vlog. I'll see you again for another one next month, and a completely new video next week. See you then! Bye!